Yeah, man, people. Good evening. I'm Delvin Sadle. Welcome to another episode of Unscripted. You know, see it? Anything goes. Yes, people, another Saturday. Saturday. Weekend. You know, see it? Weekend. Lot of mercy. Weekend. Lot of mercy. Tonight. Yo. Party night. I hope you take out your loved ones tonight and go and enjoy yourself. You know, see it? Drink some liquor. Get on the dance floor. Release some stress from a hard week's work. People. Lot of mercy. Interesting subject matter tonight. Yeah, man, straight up. You know, see it? Should prostitution be legalized? What say, people? Should prostitution be legalized? You big up yourself, DJ Shakur. Yeah, man. James. Big up yourself, man. Yeah, man. Take care of yourself, you know. Manners and respect. Alright. Yeah, man. Straight up. Yeah, man. Sonia Roper. Here, Delvin said, welcome to Unscripted. Anything goes. Yeah, man. So, I want your opinions tonight, you know, about prostitution. Should prostitution be legalized? Yeah, man, this is a big subject matter that is being debated all over the world in every single culture. But we are going to look at that situation tonight here on Unscripted. You see it? Anything goes. Yes, Rasta. See it there? Jacinta. Yo, are the queen that. Welcome to Unscripted. Anything goes. Denise Chanel. I love you, girl. Unscripted. Anything goes. Welcome, girl. Welcome. Yes, straight up. You know, on this show, we are a real show. Real, because we are real people. We talk about real things that is relevant to people. Okay, this is a real life we are living in. Straight up, we don't shy away from the hard topics or subject. We tackle them dead on. Straight up, people. Unscripted. Anything goes. Straight up. Yeah, man. So I was watching the soccer game this morning. No, when I came home, and Portugal is gone. What a thing. Argentina gone. Yo, and you know, Germany gone. Yeah. So what you're seeing is the rise of new nation. Yeah, it's no longer the big countries that are associated with soccer. The grassroots of soccer growing in other nations. Look at Switzerland. Yeah, man. Look at the Japanese. The Japanese and the Jamaicans. The Jamaicans beat the Japanese in 1998. And what has happened? The Japanese program went up while the Reggae Boys program actually sunk deep beneath the surface. So what has happened to Jamaican soccer? We're going to do that on another show. But the World Cup is showing you that if you develop your players, at some point, your program will get to international standards. Straight up. Big up on yourself, people. Unscripted. Anything goes. Prostitution. That's the subject matter. But first, let's deal with protocol. Protocols. What are the rules? Absolutely no rules. Also, yep, everybody have the right to come on the camera and speak. Yep, and when you do speak, yeah, man, try not to be insultive to others, because we don't want anyone to say bad thing about us, so we don't say anything bad about anyone. Tonight, the weather is good, so a lot of people are outside enjoying the weather. So, for those of us that are here, the show goes on. Straight up, unscripted, anything goes. Yeah, man. Paulette, big up yourself, girl. Thanks for joining. Unscripted, anything goes. So we're talking about prostitution tonight. Should prostitution be legalized? And as you know, the world first profession, or the longest profession in the world, is actually prostitution. People have been selling themselves from the beginning of time, straight up, especially, popularized by ladies. Yeah, prostitution is from the beginning of time. And to this day, countries struggles whether or not they should actually legalize prostitutions. And there's pros and cons as to how to go about dealing with it. And many countries have debated and have debated and have debated. What Delvin would like to know is your opinion. What says you on prostitution? Do you think it should be legalized? Okay, let's put it this way. All of us were taxpayers. We are taxpayers. We actually work and we pay taxes. Yeah, a lot pays, some pays more than some. And it hurts to see the amount of money that the government takes from you for taxes. But a prostitute can work and every single dime goes into their pocket. No tax paying. So from a point of view where contribution to the economy as far as paying taxes or the government, they, I would say, should be paying taxes. They should be paying taxes. Hence, prostitution now should come into the fold and actually be legalized. Yeah, straight up. While they get rich or live a decent life or have a decent living by just opening up their legs, we who are conforming to the rules, straight up, and laws are heavily taxed. Yeah, it's time for prostitution to be legalized, and prostitute pay taxes like everybody else. I really and truly believe that. Straight up, yeah man, big up yourself. Raquel Stars, I love you, girl. Thanks for joining. Unscripted, anything goes. Geraldine, Vicky, I love you guys. Thanks for joining. Unscripted, anything goes. Anne Marie Aiken, I love you, girl. I love you, really and truly do. Thanks for joining. Unscripted, anything goes. My brother Ian Smith, I love you, my brother. Thanks for joining. Unscripted, anything goes. Fidel Barrett, my brother, I love you, my brother. Thanks for joining. Unscripted, anything goes. So, what do you think about prostitution, people? Prostitution is one person selling themselves for monetary gain. So they're exchanging sexual favors for money. That is prostitution. Yeah, sexual favors for money. That is prostitution. That is their source of income. So what do you have to say about prostitution? Would you sell yourself for $1 million? Somebody offer you $1 million to say, yeah, offer me sex. Would you actually take it? If they offer you $500, would you actually do it? Yeah. From a moral point of view, then that's a decision that you would have to make. But there are people out there who are actually prostitutes. People out there selling themselves for a living. What says you? Should it be legalized where they can do it now on a commercial level and actually pay taxes? Or should it not be legalized? Big up yourself, Geraldine. Let me see what you guys have to say before I start talking. No, it shouldn't. It shouldn't. Leave the people them front business alone. Leave them front business alone. But look at it this way, Raquel Stars. You and I, we work very hard, right? We work very hard and we contribute by paying taxes. How does it feel to know that so much money is being taken from you to pay taxes? And a huge number of prostitutes out there. Like, prostitution is a big business, you know. Huge business. They've got brothels, they've got people on the streets, they've got call girls, they got people that you call them and they you can go to their houses. Yeah, it's a huge business, and all of these people are actually selling them front for free. Not for free. They're selling it with getting money and not paying taxes. So how do you feel that they are not paying taxes while a chunk of your money is being taken from you? How do you feel about that? Yeah, man, straight up. No, it shouldn't be legalized. That's what Sonia is saying. Yeah, man, good evening, Artens. Yeah. Geraldine, good night. Yeah, man, good. Anything goes. Yeah, man, anything goes, Geraldine. Yeah, man, let's see what Raquel has to say here. How long for $1 million and what I got to do? Boy, I guess if somebody is saying they're giving you $1 million for sex, I guess they would want you to do every damn thing there is. That's a lot of money. That is a lot of money. That would be a lot of money. Yes, sure, there will be a lot of conditions on that. Yeah, man, straight up. All right, Hortense is saying, no. I don't think so. It must not. It must not. Must not be legalized. They make it a business. They make it a business. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. These people actually every day they sell themselves. That is how they live. That's how they eat bread. That is their things. So if that is their thing, just like us going to work for somebody is a big thing, or working for yourself, and the government actually, make us pay taxes. It's the same way. I think they should actually legalize that and make them pay taxes too. Yeah, man, straight up. Yeah. All right, let's see what Geraldine has to say. They should pay. Yeah, they should pay. It's a job. Yeah, they should pay tax. It is a job. It is. You know how much money these people earn? These prostitutes? Think about it carefully. If they have a clientele of, say, 20 men, yeah, I'm talking a female prostitute now. She have a clientele of 20 men. And every week, right, $50 from each one of those men. 20 at $50, that's $1,000. Right? That is just for one visit. Let's say if, on average, these men visit her 2 times a week, right? That is $2,000 cash every week. And that is probably on the bottom side that I'm looking at. Yeah, look at it carefully, Cash. No tax. Think about that. How many of you would want to work $2,000 a week? No tax. Every single one of you. That would equate to $104,000 a year. No tax. Think about that shit. Yeah, think about it. No tax. While you and I, if we make 100,000 a year, we probably paying 40%. So that 40% of that in tax. So it's 40% of 104,000. You're looking at $42,000. Yeah, just like that. Just like that. That is what you're paying in tax. While this person who's making the same amount don't pay shit. Alright, look at it good. Yeah, man, big up yourself, Nadine Bennett. Thanks for joining Unscripted, Anything Goes. Alright. Raquel Stars. The struggle is real. Minna knock nobody. Listen, I'm not knocking anybody, That all I'm saying, it should be legalized. No, I'm saying legalize it. Legalize it. Yeah. I'm saying if it's your vagina and you want to sell it, go ahead, sell your vagina. Yes, go ahead, sell it. It is yours. You're free to do whatever you want to do with it. But I'm saying you cannot have two standards. If you're making profit from your vagina, then you should be paying taxes from your vagina like everybody else who works and pays taxes. Yeah, you shouldn't be able to get away with, because the government is not arresting you and you broke the law and you took a risk, that you don't pay tax. No. Yeah. Where's the tax going? Yeah. So what happens is that if they now collect the taxes and now they're getting a surplus of income, then hopefully that can now give you a tax break by actually reducing your taxes, the general public. Yeah, straight up. Yeah, or it could go to some form of social help to help people like with medication and all of these things, or Medicaid, or seeing a doctor or whatever. Yeah, yeah, straight up. But taxes are illegal. That's another topic, though. Taxes is not illegal. Taxes is not illegal. Yeah, you actually put a representative in parliament to represent you. Yeah, and so they now pass laws. Yeah, to state how you should be governed. Yeah, and the laws that they state that they're gonna charge you tax. Yeah, for you to have them govern. Hence, yeah, that's make it legal. The fact that you vote and you put them into power, that is what makes it legal. Yeah, straight up. Yeah, man. See, say, big up yourself, my brother. Thanks for joining. They should tax the man them will walk around and want done out, gal, picnic. Them out and don't give them nothing. Oh, you see, there's another thing there now. Yeah. So you're saying, so what you're trying to say is that vagina should not be actually offered to a man for free. Yeah. So therefore, if somebody is giving someone free sex, they should be paying something, and if they're paying something, then a tax should be attached to the payment. So hence it should be legal. Yeah. Yeah, man, straight up. Yeah, there should be a law that the tax, there should be a law tax the broke cheating ass man them. Yeah, the broke cheating ass man them. Yeah, how would you monitor that though? Because no, the person that they're cheating would have to be the person who rat on them and saying that, yeah, this man who has a wife or a girlfriend is now cheating with me. Yeah, that's what it would be. The woman would have to say, no, yep, he's cheating with me, therefore he should be taxed. Right? So yeah, so no, she's gonna give up her good cock. Yeah, man, her good cock. Yeah, probably her only cock. Yeah. You know what I mean? Straight up. So why would she want to do that? There's no incentive in doing that. Yeah. Big up yourself, Lorna Simpson. Yeah, man, straight up. Thanks for joining. Unscripted, anything goes. Some of the man them not easy. Yeah. Yeah, man. Alright. Let's look at the lecture that I have here. We're gonna look at some of it. So this is what it says. Should prostitution be legal, right? First of all. Yeah, man, Carol Clements, big up yourself, girl. Thanks for joining. Unscripted, anything goes. If sex work is not going to disappear anytime soon, anyone who cares about the health and safety of sex workers, not to mention their rights, should support moves to make it fully legal. Yeah, make it a fully legal industry. That's what it's saying here. This is from the Prostitution porncom.org. Check them out if you have to. Yeah, man. that is what most sex worker wants. Most sex worker wants to actually legitimize their business. They actually want to come in from out of the coal and able to do what they want with their bodies and be paid for it if there's a market and somebody is willing to pay. And as a result of that, now they're willing to actually advertise, maximize on profitability, turn it into a viable business, make money from it, and also pay taxes. Yeah, according to, the porn, prostitution, porn.com, this is what prostitutes want. They want to be legalized. It says countries that criminalize this sex industry should consider the harm that these laws cause. Yeah, it is time to put aside moralistic prejudice, whether based on religion or idealistic form of feminism, and do what is best interest for sex worker and public as a whole. So what they're saying is that if your country is built on religious values, ideologies, morality, and feminism, you are now holding these sex workers hostage by not actually looking at the benefits of actually legalizing marijuana. You're actually holding them hostage. Yeah, and you're putting their safety as a sex worker in danger, because now they have to hide and do it. They can't have a security personnel around them. They can't go to a safe location. Yep, they have to now either go with strangers to places that they don't know and risk being raped or killed or robbed, because they don't have the means to actually prostitute themselves safely. Yeah, man. Nikisha Young Gooden, thanks for joining Unscripted Anything Goes. We're talking about legalization of prostitution tonight. Yeah. On the other side, so those are the pro thoughts when it comes to should it be legalized. That's the first question. On the other side now, against that argument, yeah man, Genevieve, big up yourself, girl. Yeah man, I'm doing good. I'm good. I'm here every day, girl. I'm here every day, 7 o'clock. Yeah man, you can find me here anytime. I haven't seen you in a while, but welcome. Yeah man, Anthea is gonna join shortly. Yeah. So on the other side of it now, for those people who are against the legalization of prostitute, this is what they have to say now, according to them. It says, some assert that this profession can be empowered and that legalizing and regulating all aspects of prostitution will mitigate the harm that accompany it. But I cannot accept a policy prescription that codifies such a promiscuous form of violence against women. So what they're saying is that they cannot support or pass a law to saying that they're gonna now give you the right to sleep with any single man you want, or have man violate you sexually in any aspect in the name of money. Because you're not doing it for love, or you're not doing it for the love of sex. You're actually doing it for the sake of monetary gain. So it's an abuse of the body, according to them. Yeah. And it's a violent act being done against you by resorting to doing that for money. Hence, lawmakers are saying they cannot legalize it based on that. However, it's saying here, continuing, it says normalizing the act of buying sex also debases men by assuming that they are entitled to access to woman's body for sexual gratification. So the body itself, they're saying, the woman's body, yeah, it's actually something that should be respected. It should be a sanctuary of the individual, the carrier of the body, that it should be offered to those in a predicament of love. Yeah. But if you just allow men to just come in and just pay money to actually, get their kicks off or to get their fantasy off, hence you're now violating that sanctuary of the woman's body. Yeah, if paying for sex is normalized, then every young boy will learn that women and girls are commodities to be bought and sold. So instead of men now looking at women as actually a mate, a soulmate, a partner, somebody's going to be bearer of my kids, somebody who I'm going to love, respect, and honored. Now men will now look at you as a thing that you should just drop in a dime and take what you want and leave. They're not going to really look at you as somebody to be wifed or to actually bring forth their kids, but an object to be used. Hence, that's the argument against legalizing it. And that is from Jimmy Carter. Straight up, the 39th president of the United States. Straight up. The next argument is this. Yeah, man, big up yourself, Nigel Bennett. The next argument is this. Sex worker views on legalization. So we're going to give you the views of sex workers, their views on the legalization of prostitution. All right? This is pro-prostitution. So these sex workers, this is their views on prostitution, pro-prostitution. All right? Big up yourself, Tanya. Yeah, man. Big up yourself, girl. I love you. Thanks for joining Unscripted. Anything goes. So this is what they're saying. They're pro-views. They're for prostitution, legalization. It says, I can understand why any form of criminal sanction should be considered applicable to the voluntary sale and purchase of sexual service in 2016. This is clearly a private matter which, the state should not seek to legalize. All right? Criminalizing does not help people, okay? Criminalizing does not help people get out of prostitution, and legalization does not trap them into prostitution. This is what they're saying. As a society, we can choose whether to make it easy for people to escape prostitution or whether to make their life harder for those trapped in it. Straight up. I have always believed that any person selling sex has the right to demand whatever resource it would take for them to leave prostitution in a situation they can radically strive and grow in. So this is from Gail Dalton, a sex worker. So what Gail is saying here is that she herself believed that prostitution itself shouldn't be a source to live off, but it's a mean towards getting the money or the resources needed to get out of prostitution. Hence, if you can actually get people to buy your body for a cost that you value your body and they're willing to pay it, as long as you can do that, you will be convicted at some point to say, this path is not my path. Now that I've got the resources needed temporarily by choosing this path, now I can now use this money to go into the path that I want to. So this is her point as to her view on why she does prostitution. It's a temporary path to actually get into the path where she wants to go. The selling of herself is just the means to an end. Straight up. That is what her point is. All right? Yeah, man. Big up yourself, Esmeline. Thanks for joining. Yep. All right. Here's the argument against that now. And this is from another prostitute. All right, straight up. All right. As far as legalization towards decriminalizing the sale of sex is concerned, I hold the same view today that I held through the 1990s when I was working as a prostitute. So this is a person now that was in prostitution but no longer in prostitution. And that view is no. I do not support that, because to support decriminalizing the sale of sex would be support prostitution itself. This is you supporting prostitution if they decriminalizing it. I believe if prostitute or formal prostitutes want to see prostitution legalized, it should be she is insecure. Yeah, she's insecure. Both to the wrong of it and to her own personal injury from it. So she's insecure because she's insecure to the desensitization of it, and also because she has done it so many times that she become immune to what it actually does to her. And also, yeah, she's injured by it. It is actually caused tremendous scar to her from a psychological and emotional point of view. To be prostituted is humiliating. This is from another sex worker. Yeah, it is humiliating enough. To legalize prostitution is to condone that humiliation and to absolve those who inflicted. Yeah, it is an antagonizing insult. So basically, if you are a prostitute now, you cannot come out and go out in public and say, yeah, this is what I do as a professional. My job is that I'm a prostitute. You cannot do that. Yeah, you cannot do that because it's humiliating to do that. And also, people, once they know that you are a prostitute, they actually look at you differently than they look at normal people. Straight up, it's insulting. Straight up, it's insulting. So this is from another prostitute against another former prostitute against prostitution. Also, law enforcement views on legalization of prostitution. Here is law enforcement views on it. And this is the pro side of it. This is the law enforcement officer that agrees with prostitution. So pro views. All right. It is time for legislator to wake up from the slumberland by legalizing and regulating prostitution. Some folks disapprove of the immoral nature of sex for sale, and perhaps rightfully so. But judging morality is for the church. You hear what the law enforcement says? Judging morality, that is for church. This is not for people that are responsible for legislation. Yeah, this is not for your member of parliament. Yeah, it is for church, it's for employers, family members, and peers. Those are the people that can judge prostitution. But as far as legal people as far as member of parliament, they have to be objective to the issue. So according to the legal person here, it says it should not be a matter of law enforcement. Yeah, court dockets and jail cells costing taxpayer dearly every day. So what they're saying is that these are people's bodies, and if they want to sell their bodies, there's no reason why they should be locked up in prison or jail at the expense of taxpayer flipping the bill for these people. No way, because they should now be able to use their bodies how they want to use their bodies. And your MPs should legalize prostitution so that they can do that in a safe manner instead of locking them up and putting them in jail. Prostitution flourished in the black market. So the black market is making a lot of money here. And yeah, it flourished in the black market that would not exist if brothels and hookers were legitimized, licensed, medically inspected, zoned, and taxed. Yeah, like drugs, gambling, and other crimes of morality or alcohol prohibitions of years past, the black market is nourished by the draconian laws that forever fail to accomplish its intended purpose. So they're saying that, yeah, just like of the past where when alcohol was illegal, yeah, where a lot of people made a lot of money on the black market by selling it underground, it's the same way prostitution underground being sold, making a lot of money. Therefore, yeah, it should now be brought into the mainstream where it can now function as a regular job and tax like regular people that works. In Germany and other countries, prostitution is legal and taxed. In Germany and other countries, prostitution is legal and taxed. Yet they turn the crime into economic plus. In other countries like the United States, we create the crime, which turns the behavior into economic negatives. And it's still a thriving business. Yeah, law or no law, underground, flourishing, prostitute. Hence, according to this law enforcement officer, it should be legalized. Straight up. And it is retired captain of Metrodale Police Department. Yep, straight up. This is from a police captain. Now here is another law enforcement rebuttal on that. And he is against it. Straight up. Yep, straight up. All right, this is the con against it. According to legal, law enforcement person. Angela Galloway, big up yourself, girl. Thanks for joining Unscripted. Anything goes. It says, prostitution is not a fairy tale. Pretty Woman normalizes something that destroys lives. It glamorizes prostitution and create an illusion that prostitution is voluntary, desirable occupation. Yet the film suggests that prostituted peoples are knowledgeable and have other options they might have chosen. Straight up, the reality is that prostitution and sex trafficking makes up a harmful, pervasive, illegal, and violent criminal industry involving pimps and traffickers who are tied to gangs, drugs, and street violence. Straight up. Yeah, man, big up yourself, Keisha Walters. Thanks for joining Unscripted. Anything goes. So what you find is that you've got people out there who are actually taking advantage of ladies that are prostituting themselves. They are actually making money off these labels, right? They are, what do you call now? Gangs are now using women to prostitute themselves for monies. And then you have pimps who are actually pimping women to actually sell sex for money. And they're taking a part of it for themselves. Hence, straight up. Yeah, that's the underground effect, of prostitution. So what this person is saying, do not legalize prostitution. And also charge prostitutes or people that they go around selling sex to. Yeah. Now it is time to act. Yep. We need men and women to speak up for those who can't speak for themselves. We need to attack this harmful sex industry from all sides by targeting the pimps and the traffickers, providing services and exit strategies for those being prostituted. And Yeah, man. Big up yourself, Auntie. Big up yourself, Auntie. I love you, girl. Thanks for joining Unscripted. And educate and dissuade would-be buyers. We need to discuss buyers from we need to dissuade buyers from fueling this industry and hold them accountable when they do. Straight up. This is from Donna Gavin. Straight up. Yeah, man, the Lieutenant Human Resource Traffic Unit, Boston Police Department. All right? Victim of crimes. Yeah, man, good evening. Good evening, girl. Yeah, man, good evening, girl. Yeah, man, we're good, man. Yeah, man, straight up. So, all right. Victimless crime. This is the pro. Yeah? It's a victimless crime. Right? All right. This is what they have to say with regards to victimless crime. It says, there are no violence of act of prostitution itself. Yep. The victimization, it says there's no victim of the act of prostitution itself. The victimization occur when a client assault the professional or rape, battery, rob them of their fees, yep, drug them out. Yeah, that is when the crime occurs. But to actually, the sex act itself, according to this person here, is saying it's not a victimization. Straight up. While adultery, yep, is morally grounds for divorce, it is not a crime in the United States. It is not a crime to commit adultery. Yeah. Therefore, when one spouse has sex with a prostitute in the United States, it should not be a crime. Yeah. When someone has sex with a prostitute, it should not be a crime. That's what he's saying. Because if you commit adultery against your spouse, then that is not a crime. So how is it that you now, as a spouse now, go have sex with a prostitute, give her some money, it's the same sex, you're saying. Then how is that now a crime? Ego, there is no victim. Ego, there is no victim. Victimless crime. And if prostitution were legal, the word crime wouldn't even appear in this subject matter. Straight up. Prostitution should be legalized and called something less derogatory, such as sex worker or licensed companionship. That's what they're saying here. Prostitution is, at its core, a simple transaction, a trade of money for services. Straight up. As long as all parties are of legal age and ability to consent, saying, yes, I'm giving you my money for sex, yep, then it's good, according to the law of the land in which it occurs. Since when is a simple transaction a crime? When is a simple, this is what the point is. This is according to Wendy Garfunkel. Yeah, man, straight up. So what they're saying here is that if you and I agree that I'll give you money for sex and it's between you and me, then it's not a crime. Because if my wife and we have sex, right? She's my wife. We're legally entitled to have sex with each other. However, if I cheat on my wife and have sex with somebody, then therefore I'm seen as an adulterer, right? And there's no charge being brought against me for cheating on my wife. However, now, if I cheat on my wife with a sex worker or a prostitute, I'm now seen as breaking a law. And she's also seen as breaking a law. But what this person is saying is that it's just a transaction of business between me and that person. And if it's a transaction where I give money for sex to her, and we are of sound mind, we are of age, and we are adult, and we agree to this exchange of money for sex, the service. Hence, it's just a transaction, a business transaction between both of us. And a transaction of business is not criminal. Hence, it should be legalized. Yeah, man, straight up. Big up yourself, Dana Marie. I love you, girl. Thanks for joining Unscripted. Anything goes. The argument against this. What is the argument against this? Yep, it says prostitution is often described as victimless crime. Yeah, or consensual crime. Because the theory is no one present at the crime, no one present at the crime is unwilling. In reality, though, right? This is a myth. In reality, prostitution of a woman is particularly lethal form of violence against a woman and violation of a woman's most basic human rights. Yep, it is rarely the media approved version of prostitution. A sexy and highly paid adventure. Let's go on and continue here. Yep, because we want to get done in another 10 minutes or so. Yeah, man, let's go. Let's go. Yeah, man, straight up. We're doing good, though. We're doing good. Yeah, man. Yep. Where business is conducted at an upscale bar and in a hotel room. Yep. Though some sex workers do have that experience, most do not. For the vast majority of prostituted women, prostitution is the experience of being haunted, dominated, harassed, assaulted, and battered. Sadly, the majority of girls enter prostitution before they have reached the age of consent. Straight up. In other words, their first commercial sex interaction is actually rape. Yeah, because they enter prostitution before they become adult. A lot of them enter prostitution as teenagers under the consensual age. So even though they're saying, yeah, you can have sex with me for money, as long as they're underage, they're breaking the law. And if you're breaking the law and you're a person having sex with this person, they're actually considered to be raped. Yeah, man, straight up. Yeah, man, straight up. Yeah, man. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Another myth is that most women and girls choose to enter the sex industry. Most of them choose it. That is a myth. Yeah, again, while this is true for a small number of sex workers, the research indicates that for the vast majority of women and girls, it is highly a constrained choice. Yeah, it's a constrained choice. It's a choice that they make that they wouldn't want to make. Yeah. Yeah. Straight up. Ultimately, viewing prostitution as a genuine choice for women, such as a secretarial worker, or a waitress, or diminishes the possibility of getting women out and improving their life. So if you look at it as them being a worker, you know, what do you call it now? You legitimize it. You legitimize it. And hence, her body now is seen as a working object for money. And it would not now discourage her to actually get away from the selling of her body, to now respect her body as a sanctified something that should be shared between her and a boyfriend or a husband only. She now sees it as a means to live, an economic engine. Yeah. So as such, doing it now, yeah, you are actually victimizing the woman if you make it legal. Alright, morality of prostitution. And a lot of people viewpoints are basically at this part. It's your morals that drives you either believing in prostitution or not believing it. All right? And these are pro-morality. This is what it says. Consensual sex is legal. Consensual sex between adults is legal. But as soon as one party offers cash to another in exchange for sex, and that money is voluntarily accepted, it is considered prostitution. And that is illegal. This is hypocritical. Yep, illogical and wasteful. And it needs to stop. Yeah, man. This is for people that do pro prostitution. They say this needs to stop. Yeah. All right, let's read that again. It says consensual sex between adults is legal. But as soon as one party offers cash to another in exchange for sex, yep, and that money is then voluntarily accepted by the other person, it is considered prostitution. And that is illegal. According to this person, this is hypocritical, yep, illogical and wasteful, and it needs to stop. What a thing. Yeah. Perhaps you think sex worker is an immoral lifestyle. However, it is arguably no less more moral than a life of random hookups or a stereotypical lifestyle of a professional athlete or rock star who brags about how many women he has had sex with. Which makes sense. That kind of makes sense, yeah? It makes a lot of sense. If you randomly hook up with somebody and you have sex with them, you might not exchange money. But if you randomly hook up with somebody and exchange money now, then no, they want to see that as prostitution. Yeah. Alright, you know, a lot of these artists, rock stars are, you know, someone who's a musician or someone who's a athlete who travels the world and all these things. They go ahead and they have sex with a lot of people that they meet who throw themselves at them. At the end of the night, they'll sleep with one of them. And that is considered to be legal. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's consensual sex. But if you should just say, all right then, in exchange for the sex, I'm going to give you money. Yep. Then that is considered illegal. That is illegal. So it's basically hypocritical according to this person here. Straight up. It is the duty of government to protect property rights and to prosecute individuals who coerce or force themselves upon others. However, the government needs to stop wasting resources on voluntary adult sexual exchange. It is time to put an end to the hypocritical and wasteful prosecution of sex workers and their clients. This is according to Nino P. Malix, PhD professor of economic at the Dianja College. All right, this is the rebuttal against those now. Morality. It says, in my police career, I have met and even developed working relationship with working sex girls. The work is nothing like Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman. It is deplorable and in many ways degrades and robs the participant of fragile parts of humanity. I would say the idea that prostitution should be legalized is wrong. For those few who suggest otherwise, I would argue sex for money is illegal, not just because it's immoral, but because it's just plain bad for women at every level. This is according to Joe Vargas. Yeah, former captain of the Anaheim Police Department. Human trafficking. Pro. You here, man. Big up yourself, Nikki Jordan. Thanks for joining Unscripted. Anything goes. Talking about legalization of prostitution. Yeah. So pro human trafficking. Okay, listen to what they have to say here. Criminalizing prostitution makes sex trafficking more likely. One widely recognized consequences of prohibiting is the formation of cartels, which in a black market are more likely to use violence. The violence drives some producers out of the market, leading to a higher price and large criminal enterprise with monopolies. Instead of breaking apart sex trafficking rings, prohibiting prohibition increases the profitability, making trafficking more appealing to criminals. Straight up, after legalizing prostitution in 2003, New Zealand found no incident of human trafficking. Listen to that carefully now. After legalizing prostitution in 2003, New Zealand found no incident of human trafficking. Moreover, legalization made it easier for sex workers to report abuse for police to prosecute sex crimes. This is according to Abigail H. Blanco, PhD, Assistant Professor at the Economic University of Tampa, Florida. That is pro prostitution to prevent human traffic for sex slaves. In this case, she's saying, yep, if you legalize it, then the sex trade industry would actually come to an halt. And she stated her proof of what transpired in New Zealand when they legalized prostitution in 2003. Yep, human trafficking actually went down. Here's the argument against that claim. Yep, models of complete decriminalization and legislation of sex industry increase trafficking inflow by fostering demand for sexual exploitation of women and girls. Legalization or decriminalization of sex industry is often touted as a way to weed out organized crime in industry and reducing the associated illegal traffic inflows. However, evidence shows that legalization, decriminalization only increase flows of woman traffickers trafficking into the industry and provide a legitimate front for organized crime, while at the same time reducing police oversight in the industry. So if the police is not there now overseeing this, trafficking still occurs because it's a legal front. And if it's a legal front, then people would be brought in under the pretense of human trafficking, under the pretense of legality, but are human trafficking for sex slaving. So the police is not able to actually monitor it because it is being trafficked under the pretense of legality. Hence, they're saying it shouldn't be legalized because then a cover-up of trafficking would take place. All right? This is the last one I'm going to do before I wrap up the show. The last one is prostitution and violence. Pro-prostitution. The Netherlands owes a long tradition of regulated tolerance towards prostitution. Beside the well-known window, prostitution is in a red light district. The Dutch government also regulates other parts of the sex industry. Yep. Result shows that opening a tipple zone, that's a designated legal street prostitution zone in the Netherlands, that's what a tipple zone means, reducing abuse and rape. These results are mainly driven by 30 to 40% reduction in the first 2 years after opening the tipple zone. For tipple zone, with a license system, we additionally find long-term decrease in sexual assault and a 25% decrease in drug-related crimes, which persist in the medium to long run. Yeah. So what they're saying is that they open like a sex zone, red light district, tipple zone, a designated legal street prostitution zone in the Netherlands. And as a result of it now, yep, the legality of it by licensing places to do such things, yep, sex crimes actually went down 30 to 40%. Not only that, sexual assault actually decreased 25%. And in the medium time after that and long term after that, it remained constant, where there's a reduction in sex-related crimes and drug-related crimes as well. Yeah, they should also be taxed. Yeah, man, you talk about that. They should be taxed. Yeah, they should be taxed. For real, Dana, they should be taxed. They should be taxed. The argument against, yep, yeah, man, prostitution and violence. The argument against this tipple zone red light district is this. All right? It says legalization does not reduce violence. This is what the argument is. Women who bring charges against pimps and clients will bear the burdens of providing that they were forced into prostitution. Yeah. Oh, how possible can a prostitute prove that she was forced to become a victim of sexual violence if this has happened in our recruitment or part of our work condition? Violence is the nature of the sex industry. If it is a cruel lie to suggest that decriminalization or legalization of the whole industry would protect prostitutes. It is not possible to protect someone whose source of income exposes them to the likelihood of being raped on an average of once per week. This is according to Ina Shevchenko, president of the Feminist Association. Yeah, straight up. Yeah, man. All right. Beverly Bellamy, big up yourself. All right. Yeah. We have a few more to go, but maybe do one more. We could do one more. All right. As far as STDs are concerned, we now big up yourself. As far as STD is concerned, okay, this is what it says. All right. This is pro prostitution, and this is the argument to state why it should be legalized, because it would benefit STD prevention. This is what it's saying. It is argued that legalizing or decriminalizing sex work is beneficial to curbing HIV epidemic because it allows government to monitor and regulate sex trade. In doing so, they can ensure that the sex workers are empowered to negotiate use of condoms, improve their access to public services, and protect them from violent abusers. Straight up. Research evidence support this argument. An analysis of data from 27 European countries found that in countries that have legalized some aspect of sex work, there's a significant lowering of HIV prevalence amongst sex workers compared to those countries where all aspect of sex work is criminalized. So according to this is what they're saying. If legalized, they can now negotiate a part of their contract with the person that is choosing their service, the use of condom. And not only that, in countries where sex working is legalized, yep, there's a reduce in what do you call it now? Infections of sex workers, as opposed to countries where it's not legalized. What a thing. The arguments against now that if legalize it, yet there will be more STDs. This is the arguments. Alright? Under the law that legalizes and try to regulate prostitution, health check cards are often given to women. In theory, the cards can be presented to buyers as proof that the woman have tested and are disease-free. Even when the women are tested and tested for medical conditions, the tests are unreliable and invalid because many tests takes days or weeks before the results are available. Yep, during that time, the woman see more men and could be infected. So what they're saying is that for those people who want it realized now, a card would actually be presented to them. And they would present this card to their clients to say that, yep, this is the seal to say that I am clean. But because when you're tested, it takes a while before the result come back to state whether or not you have STDs. The card is useless at that point because during that time of waiting, you're still conducting business. And in the process of conducting business, you could actually be infected during that point. So by showing the card to say that you're disease-free, yet it is only valid for the time that you were tested, not while the test is being conducted. Yeah. Hence, it's useless to even have the card. Yeah, straight up. So the legalization of it would not, according to this person, reduce STD, but rather still open to you getting infected by a legalized sex worker. Yeah, man, big up yourself, Valen. Thanks for joining Unscripted Anything Goes. Arguing that STD testing prevent diseases is like arguing that pregnancy tests prevent pregnancy. It is a fundamentally flawed line of reasoning to begin with. The only way to truly protect the health of a prostituted woman is to get her out of prostitution, according to this. So don't legalize prostitution. Don't legalize it and don't support it. Alright? We're going to do one more. Let's do one more. And then I wrap the show. One more and then I wrap up the show. Because Delvin has to go to work early in the morning. So we're going to do one more. As a legal business. Alright? As a legal business. Alright? As a legal business. Yeah. As a legal business. Yeah. As a legal business. Alright? So this is the argument for it. It could be a legitimate legal business. Right? A legitimate business. Alright, so this is the argument to legalize it so it could be a legitimate business. Alright, sex work is work, according to them. This simple yet powerful statement frames some sex workers as criminals, victims, vectors of disease, or sinners, but as workers. Sex work is first and foremost an income generating activity. The International Labor Organization estimated that sex workers support between 5 to 8 other people with their earnings. Exploitation and unsafe and healthy working conditions exist in many labor sectors. Work does not become something other than work in the presence of these conditions, even when performed under exploitation, unsafe or unhealthy condition. Sex work is still work. This is according to the Global Network of Sex Work Project. So sex work is work, and it's a legitimate business. Hence, it should be seen and legalized as legal business. This is according to the Global Network of Sex Work. Yeah, man, straight up. The arguments against these are this. Prostitution is not regular consume transaction. It's not a regular consume transaction. It is sexual abuse. The buyer disregards for mutually and the ability to treat another person as a sex object are fundamental to the act. They don't see it as a woman anymore, but an object to be used. Yeah, that degrades the woman. And it's a violent act against women, according to this person. Responses to the sex trade, which have attempted to skirt over the inherent harm to sanction its legitimate business in a bid to quash attendant harm, haven't just failed, they've made it worse. Demand for sex trade is not inevitable. The demand for sex work is not inevitable. The sexist attitude of entitlement that underpin it can be tackled, but that won't be achieved by state sanctioning this exploitation practice in an hopeless bid to contain the danger of associated with it. Sexual consent is not commodity. It's not a commodity. Yeah. Sexual abuse can never be made to be safe. Alright? So according to them now, to purchase sex, yeah, it's not like a product that you put out on the market. Yeah. And that you constantly make it and you sell it and you constantly bring it in to sell and then you mark it up to make a profit on it. That's not what it is. The human body is not a commodity to just decorate it and just put it out for sale. Yeah. To do that is actually sexual abuse. And sexual abuse, it can never be made to be safe. Hence, to them, this person, it should not be legalized. Alright? And while we're at it, I could do the last one. One more leave. Yeah, one more leave before I push you. Alright? One more leave. Alright. Yeah, man, we did a good job. Yeah, the show go on, you know. Yeah, man, government tax. That is the last part of it. The government tax. Yeah, man, government and tax. This is a pro stance on it. Prostitution is a multi-million-dollar business a year, according to them in Las Vegas. Prostitution is a multi-million-dollar business a year in Las Vegas, and nobody gets any taxes off it. And that's what we were discussing earlier. The city and country could probably make about $25 million a year in tax off legalization of prostitution. Right now, they spend a lot of money policing it. They spend a lot of money producing it. Yeah, why not eliminate that? and turn it into a revenue maker. Instead of having to pay the police the money, yeah, yeah. Once you legalize the prostitution, yeah, you're going to take out most of the illegal prostitutes. Yeah, if a consumer has a choice between a legal place of business or an illegal criminal operation, he is going to go to the legal place. That's because he knows there's no problem waiting to happen there. This is according to Dennis Hoff of the Nevada brothel owners. All right, the argument against that now. This is the argument against making it legal. All right, he's saying in 2013, this person is saying in 2013, the Dutch government, all right, legalize the already massive and highly visible brothel trade. The Dutch government hoped to play the role of honorable pimp, taking its share in the proceeds of prostitution through taxation. But only 5% of the women registered for tax. So what, you can't teach a new dog new trick. This is what the person is saying. Once you are a working sex person and you see the money that is coming in, if you now have to register that money and pay taxes on it, why wouldn't you continue to do it underground and not register and take all the money yourself? Why would you now let the government become now a legalized pimp by taking their share of the business? This is what it's saying. Because no one wants to be known as a whore, however legal it may be. So they're not registering because they don't want to be seen as a whore or the world to know that they're whores. So they're not registering. They rather do it under the cover and take the full amount of it. Yep. Illegality as simple taking on a new form with the increase in trafficking, unlicensed brothels, and pimping. So even though the prostitution is illegal there, it's saying, it's still now become underground because people don't want to be seen as prostitutes. And not only that, they don't want to be paying tax in a formal way to a legal pimp. They prefer now to go to the brothels and underground a pimp take a portion of it rather than to come to the mainstream, legitimizes themselves and pay taxes. Yep, legalization has not been emancipation. It has instead resulted in the appalling, inhumane disregards treatment of women. And as the Dutch government reforms itself from pimp to protector, it will have time to reflect on the damage done to the woman caught in this calamitous social experiment. This is according to Julie Bindel, journalist and co-founder of the Justice for Women. So the bottom line, people, what says you on prostitution? Should it be legalized? Should they now be given the forum to actually come out from the dark, be legitimized, sell their bodies, and pay taxes like everybody else? I would say yes. But you must have some way now to actually make sure that they actually legitimizes themselves and still remain confidential to protect themselves just in case they want to get out of it. Right? So how to do that? A lot of study has to be done in that. Yes, people, I hope you like the lectures tonight. Let me know what you think. Share the show with your friends. Yep, they'll be going to work early in the morning. So remember, to embrace conservative values, we don't have badges nor guns. So we must support the police. Until tomorrow night at 7, Delvin saying, I love you. Bye-bye.